16 past 9 now.
You're listening to the Radio Wammo Breakfast, only on Kiwi.
Right, the best ideas are free. Ben Young is joining us back in the Kiwi studio from bwaggy.com, bwaggy.com, and twitter.com/bwaggy. Good morning to you, Ben.
Good morning.
How's your week been? Good?
Good. Busy.
Yep. Busy? Keeping on top of things?
Yeah. Trying to just before Christmas.
Yeah. That's the thing, eh? Is it a good time to launch projects? I was thinking about that on the weekend. I was thinking, I've got a few things on the go. Now, do I want to launch right before Christmas?
It depends. If it's a big launch, it's hard to get some attention right before Christmas.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a quiet launch, it's kind of good to get operating, and then when you come into the new year, people already see that you've been doing stuff.
Good time to test stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose, eh?
Yep.
Get some stuff out there. Hey, today we're talking about sponsored conversations, getting paid to talk.
Yeah, so a fortnight ago, the US ruled that all bloggers had to provide a disclosure statement saying where they're being paid to talk about something, what associations they have, which may influence what they're talking about.
Yep.
And it's kind of risen this topic back to the top of the blogosphere again. What kind of disclosure do people have to give for paid conversations?
This is, as you say, this has been an issue in the past, particularly where blogging really took off probably around about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Where into the blogosphere, people were starting to write about products.
Yeah.
And then it would come out a little bit afterwards that they were in fact being paid for that.
Yeah. So what I'm talking about here is sponsored tweets or sponsored blog posts. Mm-hmm. So what happens here is you have your own blog or your Twitter profile, or I suspect there's something for Facebook as well. And if you're well connected, an advertiser might approach you through a third party and say, look, we'd love to kind of give you some marketing messages or some free samples to give out to your audience, and we'll pay you for that.
Yeah.
And so this isn't a recent thing. Before that, there was paid reviews, so there were whole websites set up so that you could review any product and then you get a portion of the revenue.
Right.
There are also other websites where you can write your own news or blog posts and get a portion of the revenue there.
And the question for the blogger or reviewer is, well, what is this doing to my credibility?
Exactly. And if you look at, say, johnchow.com, now John Chow runs a blog about making money online, and he blatantly says, everything on here I make money from, so I'm biased on everything. But his aim is to help his readers make money. So he's very straight up about everything that's, everything that he's biased towards, where he's being paid. And you can actually hire John to write a blog post about your product for about $400 US. Now, in that instance, people expect it, so they understand that everything he says he's being paid to do.
So why would you read it?
Exactly. So how he circumvents this is he says, look, I'm paid to do this stuff, but my aim is to help you make money online. So I'm not going to accept payment for something that's not going to help you make money online. Or if someone does pay him for a product that he doesn't think is going to help you make money online, he says so. So he's very honest. Just because he's been paid to talk about a product, it doesn't mean they're buying his loyalty.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, how is that trust earned?
Well, he's been around for so long blogging to his core audience that he's built up that trust. But I think the trust is earned because he's so transparent about it. He's not, doing a blog post and then someone says, hey, I think you're paid to do that. And he goes, no, I wasn't. And then someone provides proof that he was. He's just straight up.
But money's a corrupting force, isn't it?
Exactly. Well, that's kind of the traditional view. But when you look at someone like Tiger Woods pushing Nike's gear, he gets paid millions of dollars to work with Nike. So do other sports celebrities. Whether or not that gear has actually driven their success, some of these sports stars you see, they swap brands depending on the biggest offer.
See, Mike King was paid to push pork.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. So,
and then finally he found out about sort of what was going on inside the pork industry.
Yeah.
But people trusted him.
Exactly.
To that point.
So it's kind of a bit of a conflicting view, because if you look at someone like Tiger Woods or Mike King, people listen or respect them. But if you look at a blogger and they're getting paid for almost essentially the same thing, people come down on it. And I think it's just because it's a new idea.
Right.
if you see where I'm going, 5 years from now, I think it'll be an increasingly more common thing. People will be a lot more blatant. Right, this week I'm doing a theme on Coca-Cola. Everything will be about Coca-Cola. And I think that bloggers or people on Twitter or Facebook are going to start weighing these things up. Okay, I could spend an extra 3 hours a day networking with other people, creating conversations and blogging, and I could actually get sponsored to do that and earn a decent income.
What about the regulation side of things? I mean, should it be regulated that a blogger should or a reviewer should say that this is sponsored?
I think definitely there should always be disclosure. When you watch a TV ad and you see someone talking about a product, you know that they've been paid to talk about it.
Yeah.
And it should be the same on a blog. Otherwise, it's deceitful.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And in such a transparent world, if you're not upfront about something, you're going to get caught out sooner or later anyway, because everything's on record. Like if you say something on your own blog, and then 3 years later someone says, oh yeah, we hired Ben to work with us during that period, then you're on the record as having been biased. So it's best to be straight up about it. This is what I talk about. These are the associations that I have, and I'm actually getting paid to do some of this stuff.
Is this the only model we have going forward for people to earn a living from their words online?
No, but it seems to be it's increased in popularity in the last 2 years. So because it's a new industry, by definition, online, there's actually a decent amount of investment going into it to see how it works. Some companies are doing quite well out of it. If you look at some of the case studies on sponsoredposts.com, they facilitate sponsored blog posts. Some of the campaigns that they've run have created phenomenal success for their clients. Excuse me. So you've really got to balance up the transparency and being authentic versus the way to make money. And if you look at other ways where people have advertising on the side of their blog,
are we finding that's not working anymore?
People are finding that it isn't working, but you have to think that if I'm writing a blog post every day and I've got this nice little ad beside me, there has to be some kind of bias towards, okay, I want to increase page views, so I increase more money from that. And that's almost the same affiliation. If Microsoft sponsors your blog, you're probably going to have a slight bias, either towards or against them for giving you that kind of money.
Well, you wouldn't want to say anything bad about the product there.
Well, exactly. So whilst it is new and people are kind of coming down hard on it, bloggers and people on Twitter and Facebook all are slightly biased in what they do anyway. But the interesting thing when you look at New Zealand is that you could probably connect any individual to any company because we're so small.
Yeah.
So if you had a disclosure statement for each and every blogger, it would be huge.
Yeah.
You go to any business social event, you could run into an executive from just about any company who could be trying to sway your blogging or your...
So, hi, I'm a New Zealander. I have an interest in every single business here in this country.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that is interesting. Is it something that you've already gotten into or want to get into on bwaggy.com?
It's not something I do. I've definitely looked at it just to compare. For example, if I did, say, 3 or 4 tweets a day, I could make about $60 a day.
Do you think it works on Twitter?
Some of the campaigns suggest that it does. Ultimately, I wouldn't be recommending it to my clients because I don't see it as transparent enough, because if you're getting paid to do a tweet, you put out a tweet and then you either have to say before or after, hey, that was sponsored.
Yeah.
But people aren't looking at the next or the previous tweet, they're looking at that tweet by itself.
But couldn't you imagine that if exactly, if you did that, you'd lose a whole bunch of followers.
Yeah, it would definitely hurt your social capital, because people connect with me and the Bwaggy blog because there's authentic conversation. So if I start going, okay, Monday is sponsored posts, send me some cash, I'll talk about your company, give it a critical review, people aren't going to respect me as much for that.
No. Very good point.
Yes.
Well, if you want to follow Ben on Twitter, without the sponsored tweets.
Exactly.
At this stage. Twitter.com/Bwaggy, BWAGY, and also check out the blog as well, bwaggy.com. See you